what if what you feel is what you attract, then your body, if you feel in pain or uncomfortable, then you're not gonna be able to be in a high vibe to attract what you want or what you're destined to attract, like your dreams, your love partner, your wealth. Everything is connected to your body, to your health. And basically, in reality, if you essentially, our body is connected to our manifesting, and we have to have a proper alignment, proper posture, proper grounding, and proper breathing. And essentially, our health, and like we have to have a proper posture aligned. And we're slowly working on doing that as we're going throughout life. But essentially, in reality, there are these gatekeeping people, these gatekeepers who have knowledge on your health and your body. And essentially, I'm telling you that there are people who control this reality. And essentially they have knowledge of energy manipulation. And everything's energy. And our health, our our body, how we feel in pain is are connected to our manifesting, because if we don't feel happy and calm and at peace, and which is our natural state, believe it or not, then we're going to attract garbage. We're going to attract negativity into us because we're going to feel subconsciously negative because we're not comfortable. And in life, in reality, we're always seeking to do stuff to be comfortable. Whatever it is, drugs, sex, food, like most people are trying to satisfy an unknown urge, and the urge is to be comfortable because deep at the root, they're in pain. They have deep pain deep into their core. And essentially, this world is controlled by a pyramid scheme, which we all know, a massive Illuminati pyramid scheme of witches, warlocks, and wizards who have knowledge of energy manipulation. And essentially, they use this knowledge to manipulate. Any manipulation is witchcraft. Essentially, it's like a massive pyramid scheme of witches, warlocks, and wizards, and they have knowledge of how to put energetic cords into people, how to and that's why they love children, because they can attach energetic cords to their sacral chakra. And through their whole life, they are stealing their energy, manifesting ability. But I'm going to tell you my story and how it's all connected to reality and how you can fix the problem. Because essentially, you're trying to fix your health because you're trying to feel good, because what you feel is what you attract. And what you think is what you become, just like Buddha said, right? So essentially, yeah, I have a lot of quotes on the wall, mostly Christian ones, but I do have Buddhist ones too. And essentially, I've been learning that our body's connected to reality. And again, if you're in a negative loop, it's super difficult to break it. But then the way is, this is how you do it. You focus on your health, focus on your energy. But essentially, as you're doing this, you focus on your breathing, focus on making yourself feel peaceful and calm. I know it sounds crazy to do when you're like in the middle of things, but you have to take away things that are giving you stress, like violent video games, movies, toxic people. So basically, as you're doing this, there are going to be signs from the universe that are going to be like leading you to like health. But as you're doing this, people and things are going to distract you. Like the system is going to try to distract you, whether it be you're going to get like phone calls, work, going to give you over more schedule, family issues, family with your loved ones. But essentially, I was under heavy witchcraft for 35 years, for most of my life. And I had only started waking up like last year fully, but I'd always been on the path of seeking truth, and I had the eye to see through the system. But basically, I was raised by a narcissist energy vampire. And I'm telling you that most of you men, and actually most people, are actually surrounded by a narcissist. It's an undercover energy vampire. So basically, from my gathering, it's an empty shelled individual who is being controlled by a demon, by a demonic entity. And essentially, they have like advanced knowledge, and they give the person some kind of power, but essentially they like to control. And the person that you're with could be a wife, it could be a mother or father, but essentially while you're doing this, you're working on your health, they're going to try to distract you or tell you that what you're doing is not connected to what you're feeling. But I'll tell you my story about the witchcraft and essentially the things that happened. But essentially, yeah, as you're waking up, I was living with my mother. Essentially, I was trying to like bust my ass my whole life, trying to like lift my life up, but also help her out. And essentially, she was just like a zombie trying to she was sabotaging my life essentially, and she was acting like she wasn't, but she essentially didn't love me because a narcissist doesn't really love anyone. Essentially, they feed off of you, they feed off your energy, they feed off your body. Essentially, everything's energy. So your money is your energy, your attention is your energy, um your physical body, like your actual material, the meat on your body is energy. And we're trying to add more meat on our body. We're trying to add more, make ourselves more physically full and physically posturally aligned, straight, and physically grounded. So that's why sleeping on the floor is very important. But essentially, I learned that I had some heavy energetic attachments to me. And also, this person was around me, just being around this person was stealing my energy. And I started noticing that this person was keeping me in a cycle of shame, like a low vibe cycle of, they were triggering me, doing like gaslighting. Uh, they were doing, what are they called? Stonewalling, where they ignore you. They were doing like withholding love. And I was just an innocent, pure light being, just trying to like get by. And I was always made to be like thinking I was the crazy one or I was the one irrational. And I was doing a lot of substances because because I didn't have love. And if you're doing drugs, it's because your body is trying to tell you that you're not getting something satisfied, and you're not happy. And essentially, if you ever feel like if someone's triggering you, you can't understand why you keep arguing with this person. Is because this person is spiritually against you, and they're actually hurting you. They're actually taking energy from you. They're evil, and they're actually pretending that they love you, but they're actually trying to watch you and control you because they love to control you. They like to say, oh, hey, come and watch this show. Oh, come, hey, look at this thing on the photo. Look at this person or whatever. Look, or they'll say, hey, come and eat this. Come and eat this food. Eat this food. And basically, everything's energy. Remember, everything's energy. Essentially, we absorb energy into our core. And essentially, this system has a bunch of gatekeeping people that are in the fitness industry, in the health industry, like physio, chiropractor, basically there's a cult and a pyramid scheme, and it's essentially these demon controlled people at the top because everything's spiritually moving, coordinating too high up for it to be like, yo, do the thing, like, hey, move the thing, call the thing, make the move, call the person, whatever the hell they do. Essentially, that's why it's like it's a spiritual battle, and we don't say our positive goals into the air because there are things that are monitoring us. Essentially, we have to keep everything private until they happen. Essentially, you're working on your health, and you're gonna notice that these people are trying to sabotage you, and they're trying to like really get your attention. They're trying to really trigger you. They're gonna try to really stop you from working on your health. So we have to just cut them off and isolate them. Isolate yourself because they're gonna try to fuck you over. And basically, there are these gatekeepers in society, and essentially they act like they're for you and they're trying to help you, but they're gonna try to fuck you over in your health. And essentially, all men have something called the witch's knot. And the witch's knot is something in the core, deep in the core. Essentially, how do you find out if you have the witch's knot is I actually took it out like 5 days ago, and I've just been recovering, goddamn. But essentially, for 35 years, I've had negative energy in my core sent from because I'm a truth seer, I'm a truth speaker and seer, so I was attacked by this world. Essentially, a lot of men are being bound by witches. I've noticed the actual bodies. I've started to analyze the bodies of men. Essentially, I've noticed that there's like a knot in men's stomach. And it could be in women too, but I find I have to analyze women's bodies too, right? But I think for the most part, I think the entities that control the witches too, they limit their bodies too, but they kind of give them strengths in different ways. Essentially, these witches, they don't love, they like to control. It's like an inversion. So they control the men. And then the men who are being controlled by the women, they actually start attacking free men. So anyone who has some kind of, like, they usually attack people who are following God, spiritual God people. And I notice there's like a family dynamic. In family dynamics, there's always like, mother, father, son, and daughter, or like two kids and parents, right? Well, and usually the parents split up. But what happens is that the child that's spiritual gets attacked by the whole family, and the good child, the one that's spiritual and good and seeking truth and looking into God, this person will be black sheeped and attacked by society, and sometimes they can't even get ahead of life, in life, because energy. Once you learn about energy, you're gonna be free, like learn how to free yourself. But then, essentially, they shoot energy into our core, and they put curses in our food, because since everything's energy, it's like who you work for. If they're not spiritually against you, and there are signs you can figure out if they're against you or not through my videos, is that basically you straight up you don't work for people who are spiritually against you, and you don't take food from people who are against you. You don't even touch them. You minimize interactions with them, because they're spiritually gonna sabotage you energetically. And it could be like random confusions, but usually it's like a confusion. These two energy types, they confuse one another. And essentially this which is not, is essentially like a protection. The stomach, they give you food, they have evil intent. You don't know this person despises you. You eat it. Essentially, it goes in your stomach, and your stomach wraps around this toxin and creates a knot. How do you find out you have it? You essentially spit, like, you make the noise, and essentially you feel that feeling deep into your core. And you press into it, and you start rolling on to the ground and leaning into it, and even stand up and do that press, like, and press into it. Push your stomach outward. Push your tummy, your belly button, whatever, out as far as you can, and reach up and walk around and see how much pain you can handle. Essentially, it's impossible. No matter how, and believe me, I've gone through it. No matter how, I'm a martial arts instructor, I'm a health coach, and I found that I could never gain mass, because essentially I was surrounded by evil people who were watching me, keeping me down, projecting energy, because these people who have knowledge of energy, they know how to project energy. They can project their fucking whole goddamn emotions onto you. And essentially, you're carrying all this heavy weight, the shame, and stuff that aren't even yours. But essentially, because you are worth it. Everyone is worth it. Everyone feels normal, like, without depression. But then the system makes you feel like you need some medication, because they want you to take the medication. That's just a band-aid, because the root cause is you're being attacked. And it could be in a variety of different facets, but for the most part, I found that men are being controlled by the witches not. Essentially, it's deep in your core, and how do you get rid of it? Well, I have videos on my channel how to do it, but I think I have that one video, it's called I Love You, Listen to Me. But essentially, you get rid of it with a combination of sound healing, Reiki energy healing. I like healing and beyond. And then for the sound healing, you do like singing bowls, tuning forks, bells ringing, and natural healing frequencies. And then you take a bunch of psychedelics. So this is like sometimes why people go to shamans, like ayahuasca retreats, where they vomit a lot, because they actually vomit up all the trauma in their stomach. And I vomited up a lot of fucking stuff. It was like this it was like poison basically in my stomach that my stomach was encapsulating. And essentially, I think this stuff is probably connected to cancer and everything, because this whole system perpetuates everything. It gives us it throws the chemicals and radiation, like GM, like fake food, and also the stress, but also they don't want to tell you it's mostly about energy too. Okay, I'm gonna continue this video.